I was in Vietnam for a year, and I don't know if I ever saw a communist. If I did, I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So that is why we were all going.
Healing is the order of the rest of our lives. We must
Yes.
all devote humor, wisdom, and patience for healing.
Yes.
Yes, and absolute laughter and unconditional love is what leads us all on this trip.
Yes.
So we have a couple questions to have you guys get to know us a little bit deeper about this, about us and this trip. Do you want to?
Do I want to?
Or do you want me to? I can.
No.
Just.
See, this is not AI generated because, we're unsynchronized.
This is real stuff. Okay. So I'm just asking each of you, I'm going to start with Claire. What called you to this journey, spiritually, personally, or professionally?
Initially, it was the elephants, my love of elephants. But as the last few days have unfolded, I clearly know that this is going to be a spiritual trip too. Most of the trips I've taken in the last couple of years, as my heart has opened and expanded, have ended up being spiritual trips. So it was initially the elephants, and it's that part of the world too. There's a lot of wisdom to be found in that part of Asia, Southeast Asia. And so, to be honest, when this was starting to come a week ago, I did not know that it would expand to this, but I am wholeheartedly open, excited, happy, and excited to see what's going to unfold.
And for you?
Well,
So what called you to this journey, spiritually, personally, or professionally?
Monica did.
all of it. I'm putting together my stories from the combat experiences, and I need to find closure that brings peace to myself and to Vietnam. And on behalf of this rogue nation, I need to say that not all of us are in agreement with the rogueness. And I need to say that to the Vietnamese, and hopefully to the Vietnamese veterans who are still living from that war. And I think that might happen. I might have a connection to let that happen. So, all of that, and there's several places I want my daughters to see. For example, the village in the highlands called Dalat is now supposedly not just a village, but a sprawling city or something like that. I don't know, but it's okay. They get to see Dalat. Why Dalat? Well, Dalat was one of the food centers feeding the U.S. military machine while we were there. And I've got several stories that connect with that, but that's for later. And it's just a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place in the Central Highlands. And so there's that, and there's also, there's another thing that we're going to have to own up to. The forests over there are being harvested with, I want to say, all ill-considered speed, but who am I to say that when we know what has been done here? And we're trying to help these redwoods recover from our presence.
Yeah. And you, thank you. And you, Darlene? What called you to this journey, spiritually, personally, or professionally?
You did. With the elephant poop video.
She has to ask a question that she knows she did. Her name is the answer.
And I just have to interject because you are that's what's so beautiful about you, is that I say something and you're like, let's go. I mean, you're incredible. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that was my answer. You gave me a poop video, so yeah, let's go. Yes, I am the comedic, relief here.
Well, and more than that, Monica
Way more than that.
asked the questions that we didn't know we needed to ask, but we now know we needed to ask it and develop the answers.
Well, and so it was really interesting to me because I was thinking about this. Um, I listen to Monica talk a lot. And, when I hear her talk about how she's called by the animals, I always think about it. It's like, okay, it's Monica's thing. It's Monica's thing. But then I really thought about it, and I realized it was like we had a session with a couple of horses. And there was one horse that, walked up to me and actually said, you have a big opportunity to help Monica so that she can help the animals. And so I didn't actually put that into the category of being called by an animal, but now after listening to you talk for so long, yes, um, that horse.
And it didn't even poop on you.
It didn't
I
even
know.
but it checked her out like you would not. It would not stop moving around us, and I mean, there was not one moment out of like I think it was like 20 minutes that he was not either touching me or her, and she was just laughing, and I was just like, wow. And the horse after that said, "You found the right team." So she's approved by the animals.
And a horse at that, because I love horses. But I mean, for me, it's going to be such an honor to be witness to, and in support of, what comes out of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And so, as far as me, I think I've already said it. The animals, through meditation, through just what you would call divine guidance. I mean, like I said, I saw that I'd be doing this, but I thought I'd have all these other things aligned, and I'm going on pure knowingness that this is supposed to happen, and everything has fallen in place so far. I mean, within last week, I didn't know I was going to go on a trip. And it's something that it sparks the spark in me because I love traveling, and I haven't because I've been raising my daughter, but I haven't for a while, but it's just like this, and with these people, and for a purpose that is undeniable that I was called to, and all these wonderful people that were called to as well. There's no denying that we're supposed to be doing this. And it's not even supposed to be. It's like we're called to do this. This is a higher purpose, a higher power that is guiding us on this to be able to help everything else, everyone, nature, animals, everything.
And learn from the animals and the trees and the other plants and the birds and all of them. From what we call wildlife, we need to learn what we have been doing wrong because we haven't been learning it from ourselves.
Very true. All right, so Claire, what are you hoping to heal, explore, or reclaim during this trip?
I am hoping to explore more about my life's purpose, which is one of them, which, as I've said earlier, is about my non-profit in Congo. I've been having some hesitancies with that in the last couple of years regarding raising funds. So, and it does fill me with hesitation. Sometimes, occasionally, I second guess myself. I have some, I guess you could almost call it fear around, can I keep doing this and keep those children alive and happy and financially, and financial assistance, and finding the right people that I can share the story with and that are willing and happy to donate. So that's part of my hesitancy. And while it might seem strange, I feel that going on this journey is also going to be a spiritual journey for me as well. And that's part of what I want to explore and really delve into what these hesitancies are and come out more confident a person in regards to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. And Walter, what are you hoping to heal, explore, or reclaim during this trip?
I'm hoping to heal the crack in my head that you gave me when you insisted that I come on this trip. But I know that crack had to be made because my dad gave that to me and I lived with it all my life, and it's really been a pain in the head and other places. But not just that. I am hoping to heal myself fully from my experiences in that war, what I've done, what I didn't do, what I knew, what I didn't know, and all the confusions that still are haunting me like so many, I don't know, blackbirds that are looking for something to chew on. I think I need to stop here for now. Yes.
That's okay.
And Darlene, thank you. Darlene, what are you hoping to heal, explore, or reclaim during this trip?
You know, I don't have an agenda or an idea. I think in this past year, when I've started exploring, I think my own spiritual journey, it's been going with the flow, more or less, and seeing what comes up. I do know that, I've lost a bit of myself over the many years, when you're in that corporate grind and when you go through, personal trauma and things like that, you leave pieces of yourself behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been slowly reclaiming parts of that. And so perhaps I will, encounter and reclaim more parts of that. But yeah, I didn't really have a specific goal or intention for it other than to go with the flow and follow the guidance of the animals.
Wonderful.
And for me, I'll ask a question just as in case. What are you hoping to heal, explore, or reclaim during this trip? I myself am hoping to be able to allow others to see that spirituality is really coming back to yourself, to unconditional love. And then you get all these cool little gifts of being able to speak to animals and being able to communicate with spirit, being able to communicate with your own intuitive self, being able to understand the oneness, that all this foo-foo kind of stuff, foo-foo is good for some people, but it's also the reality of being in unconditional love and walking this earth. It's not that you have to go somewhere or that you have to do something. It's like, how do you walk this earth in unconditional love? That's what spirituality is to me. And that's what the animals have been reminding me constantly. That's why I work with the animals, because they live that life. And that's why we are so attracted to them and want them in our homes and in our lives, because they do reflect that unconditional love that we forget. And so for me, this is solidifying the fact that I have this gift, that I can speak to the common person about this and have them realize that this is not some woo-woo thing. I have the science to back it up. I have the experience to back it up. I have the ability to back it up. And the animals are holding me and making me laugh all the time, and just really being able to show me the ways of what this world really is about. And it is unconditional love once we get to understand that a little bit deeper and let go of all the things that keep us away from that. Also, it is just a validation for what I saw that this job, quote job, it's life path, Rodasi, is. And I'm so excited to get back into the oceans and help the oceans and let the ocean animals be heard, because they've kind of been forgotten in this whole bursting of animal communication. So this is another realm that I love diving, and I can't wait to be there with them, as well as being with this crew of people that have just fallen into my life, and they're wonderful people.
You plucked us.
we love to laugh and have a good time, and we're all open-minded, have our own little quirks and laughter things, and I can't wait. It'll be really healing and opening to many different things. All right, back to you, Claire. How do animals, nature, or energy play a role in your life and work?
Oh, let's start with nature. It is why I stayed in the Santa Cruz Mountains for the last 35 years. I came here, I came to America, and I've lived here a long time, and a lot of people say, do you prefer America to Australia? And I said, it's not about that. It's where I landed, which was the Santa Cruz Mountains in Felton, and the day I drove in there and I saw those redwood trees, I literally got that feeling, you've come home. So I'm all about the redwood trees. And so in all of the years that I've lived here, I either hike in the redwood forest or mostly I've ridden horses, often every morning before I would start the next part of my life, my job and what I did here. So nature is incredibly healing. And I say to people, I can be in big cities for a short time, but I really love to be in smaller towns and walking in nature. It's very healing. So that's the nature thing for me, is about mountains and trees, and but especially the redwood trees.
And it reminds us over and over and over of who we are and who we aren't.
Yes, the groundedness.
It helps us also, it helps us set aside the frou-frou and pay attention to who we are and where we are and what we're doing and why we love being here.
And so you're saying for you that nature and animals and energy play, how would you describe that? What kind of role in your particular life?
Well, maybe it's because I'm becoming an old man, but it's largely a feeling of healing from earlier things that I didn't even know needed to be healed, and earlier experiences, and the emphasis on the stories that I'm working on now is I'm amazed at how much I'm remembering at this old age, and I'm amazed at how much every time I remember one thing and put it into place, something else goes, oh yeah, and then this and then that, and I'm getting chills just remembering it. And I also have been working with a superior writing coach, and he just helps me like Monica helps me. He helps me open that crack in my head and let things come in and let other things go out that don't need to be there.
And Darlene, what do animals, nature, or energy play a role in your life or work?
I don't know necessarily, I don't think I've ever really given it a thought. I live with a dog now. It was multiple dogs before, but now we just have the one dog. But being in the city and being in like a corporate structure, as I said earlier, you just lose yourself and you're totally just tunnel vision into what you need to do. And I can say that when I'm out in nature, when I actually stop and remember and take the time to go out and take a hike, where there's not a whole lot of people, like being on a trail right now like this, it is the only place and time where my brain can just quiet down. It is about, the quietness. When I'm when I'm on a beach and near ocean, I have this incredible yearning that I can't even begin to describe. And that's maybe something I'll explore more about, but it's I can never spend enough time at a beach with the pounding waves, and it's something about the energy of the water pounding on the beach and things like that, and that is not something that I think of, feel, or have anything that helps me or benefits me when I'm in the city or when I was previously working.
I'm liking the repeated mentioning of the beaches and the ocean. And I just want to mention to the three of you, on last Sunday, I took Monica and my friend Blair, who's a quadriplegic. I took her with her wheelchair, and we walked on the West Cliff walkway, and we saw humpback whales, and we saw porpoises, and we saw gobs of birds all over the place. And most of the people we encountered were friendly, especially the ones who had dogs. And it was just amazing. You know, it was like, wow, why am I not out here more often?
Very true.
That is actually, an experience I have a lot. I go there and I'm like, why don't I come here more often?
Yes.
And for me, how do animals, nature, or energy play a role in my life and work? Well, it is my life and work. As a child, whenever I was in trauma, which a lot of childhood was not very fun for me, I'm finding out through my work that I was really, really lucky because I lived on 3 3/4 acres with redwood trees, with oak trees, with a creek, with a fruit orchard. And so I spent all my time outside with all my pets. I used to save animals. I took in a mole. I would save birds. I would gather carcass of a coyote, put the bones back together, see how they would go back together. I had lizards. I had all kinds of pets, a turtle, geese, dogs, chickens, you name it, a parrot. So nature has always been part of my life, and I have vivid memories of me going off in the forest being sad, and I would always just go off in the forest, and my dog would always, she was a little Welsh Terrier, and she would come through the forest, and all I could see was this tail coming through all the little leaves, and she would just come and sit on my lap, and she would always find me no matter where I was. And I mean, I spent my childhood being up in trees and being with nature all the time. I mean, even to the point that I had a German neighbor who was very proper, and she would call up my mom and say, "Did you know that your daughter is out there all in the mud?" And my mom would say, "Yeah, I do know that." So nature has always brought me back to myself and let me know that I'm okay. And now it's reminding me more that I know that I'm more than just okay, that I am connected with nature. So nature is always there for me no matter what. And so it's always brought me back to the unconditional love that is always within us and around us. And Claire, what aspect of your story or identity are you honoring or writing into this world through this trip?
I am honoring the part of me that loves to travel the world and meet people and see cultures, learn from cultures, learn from land. Yeah, just mainly that aspect. Yep.
Excellent. And Walter, what aspect of your story or identity are you honoring writing into the world through this trip?
The part of me that loves being a family man the most, I want my daughters and my grandchildren and my sons-in-law and my greater family in the Carolinas and Georgia, I want them to see that experience, because even though I started trying to figure out ways to convey it right after I came back from Vietnam, I could not make heads or tails of it or of anything, and that was mostly because I was either drunk or stoned. And it took me until I think 14, 15 years later to realize that, okay, Walter, you're not going to get this work done. Even though I was at university and doing well in the university, you're not going to get this work done that you really want to do if you don't get rid of that pot and you don't get rid of that alcohol. And I did get rid of both of them, and also tobacco. And I I just found that the stories began bubbling up, and I discovered this practice, psychological practice called focusing, and that all of a sudden helped me really go inside of myself and let my body tell me, okay, this is the emergency you need to deal with now. And it became such a practice, I forgot that it was a practice. It just happened automatically, and it just kept me on the straight and narrow path. I mean, it didn't prevent me from getting angrified sometimes, but it mostly kept me calm. So, and I think now I'm bringing that to fruition and closure about that experience in the war.
Wonderful. And Darlene, what aspect of your story or identity are you honoring or writing into the world through this trip?
My love for animals.
I think Darlene loves animals.
You should meet her dog. She sure does. She does everything for that dog. It's so beautiful. And so for me, what aspect of your story or identity are you honoring or writing into the world through this trip? My story is that all of us have a part in being able to help each other, help, be it nature, people, animals, humans. All of us have a part. And it doesn't have to be in a certain, oh, you have to be spiritual to be able to help. It's like, no, the common person who doesn't consider themselves spiritual or whatever can help in some way. And so it's me being able to relay that message to everyone else, saying, hey, this is not about the woo-woo stuff. This is about real life people making changes, making differences to make this world be in more harmony. We can all see that there's a lot of disharmony on this earth right now, and things need to happen from the common person, not just from the people that we have in charge. And the people that we have in charge need to realize that they are also a common person as well. And so that is something that this trip is like the step out into the world again for me, honoring all the work I've done on myself to be able to go out there and be the bridge between the science world and the intuitive world, if you want to call it that, or some people call it spiritual, intuitive, whatever you want to call that world. The unconditional love world is what I like to call it. And there is a bridge between the science in that world that we don't need to be fighting each other or discounting each other. We need to be working together. We need to be who we are here to be in a way of having community. And yes, we are going to have distrust or some kind of conflict with people, but what we do with that is what's important. It's not about continuing on the realms that we're continuing on. We have nuclear weapons that can destroy and can destroy the earth really easily, but it's about how we come to agreements more than how we flex our muscles in conflict. And so that's the beginning of this trip for me, is for me to be out there more, spreading the word as a normal human being. And Claire, back to you. What is the role of intuition and how you make choices or move through the world?
Yes. Intuition, for those that know me well, when I get something intuitively, I get what I call the goosebumps, and they call them the truth bumps. So often when I'm at a crossroads in my life, I will hesitate, wait, and trust that synchronicities and signals will show me the next steps. And especially when I get the goosebumps, I'm like, I'm being shown by guidance, this is the way. Or even just in conversations with people, they're the goosebumps, the truth bumps. They help me along my life's journey, especially of late.
I like that. And Walter, what is the role of intuition in how you make choices or move through the world?
Well, I think primarily intuition helps me prioritize. Otherwise, I find gobs of things to do, and I start confusing myself about, I got to do this first or I got to do that first. And if I just come back and take a moment and let my inner being talk to me, it will say, what's the next step? And I've discovered the best way to go about life is one step at a time. And it always works when I do that. It's when I get in a hurry that something breaks, like my head.
You don't have a broken head. Oh my gosh. On to you, darling. What is the role of intuition in how you make choices or move through the world?
So I'm a common person, right?
Imagine that.
Yeah. So when you talk about, intuition, it is not something that I've ever really just kind of thought about, right? So when I think back to when I was working in my career, people call them gut feelings. People have gut feelings. That's your intuition, apparently. But it's the label that people put on things, right? And so what I've learned is not to attach too much importance to a label and to go with what I feel. So a lot of times, I get a gut feel, whether that's intuition, knowing, or whatever label you want to put it on. It's that thing that I've been able to be graced with many times in my career to move quickly and with confidence in achieving something, right? And not necessarily one step at a time. I'm multi-step.
She's a centipede.
She's a multitasker, and she's phenomenal.
But now that I'm learning more about spirituality and meditation, there's a bit of clarity that comes with it. Because you two had mentioned about being at a crossroads and being inundated by all the different choices and stuff like that, and I had a few weeks where there was after meeting the horse who told me that I could help Monica in a big way, because the horse gave me a healing, and there was just this incredible clarity that I walked with for a few weeks after that. Being confronted with a choice, 3 different choices of where to take my life forward with, and it was really easy. And I could think of before it would be I could think of before I'd be totally oh, do I do this? Oh, but what if I do that? Well, how can I get more than one choice? But it's just one choice. I can't have it all. This was just very, very easy and with clarity about why I ranked the choices that I did. So yeah.
And we get
And
a
I thank you
signal.
for that very much.
Because Monica benefits, because it is so much more fun listening to messages from animals and playing with hands-on tech, which the engineers I used to work with were always like, no, we don't want you touching anything. It's like, okay, fine, I get to touch stuff now.
Oh, you get to create like nobody's business, and I am so grateful. So grateful.
Well, and we all know, I think, that animals don't lie to us. They might play tricks on us. They might, play around with us like they're teasing us or something, but they don't lie.
They
They
manipulate.
don't. I've been lied to by one dog, just because it wanted to go out and play at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Gaia, why didn't you tell me that?
Just by one out of all the many, many animals.
No.
It was,
My dog manipulates because he wants more treats.
yeah, I mean they don't, but they don't. They really don't lie. They don't
No,
lie.
they don't.
It's a.
And
Yeah,
there's a
it's
difference.
it's a fun thing.
That's right. They're playing a game. when
They
they're
are playing a
manipulating
game,
us.
yeah.
And for them, it's a game, and we should let it be.
Yes, exactly.
It produces a lot of laughter in my house.
It does, especially when you're woken up in the middle of the night at, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and the dog says, I have to go pee. And so I got up, took the dog out, and then the dog starts running around I said, well, what about your pee? And the dog starts laughing and says, I lied.
Again, it's playing with you.
All right, back to the questions. What is the role of intuition and how you make your choices or move through the world? Well, I am living the life that my teacher has taught us to live in, knowing the truth from the lies. The truth is unconditional love, and that is even through all the people that you don't like, all the things that you don't enjoy. And through his teachings, he taught me tools on how to enjoy not enjoying something. And so that is something that intuition guides me on my daily life. Like, I am learning to walk in meditation on this earth in unconditional love and seeing the love within people I could even say I've hated or anything like that. So it guides my life because it's the inner knowingness. It's the connection with divinity, which divinity is really unconditional love. So that's how it works for me.